What's up, everybody? Welcome to Alive. Nobody asked us with Des and Kara, presented by Brooks. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm not on. I am on. What a cool space, right?
Yes. Isn't this awesome? There's a track here, I heard.
Can you
Is
listen?
that true? Who's run on the track up
anybody
there?
running?
Someone in the back has. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think this is our biggest live, Houston.
I think this might be second to Houston.
Yeah.
Don't make them
Just- I
feel
don't know,
bad.
Just trying to figure out where we're at with our lives and our pods and the whole thing. What's up? How you doing, Kara?
I'm great.
Love that.
It's fun being at marathon weekend. There's always good energy, and I get to see you. So that's
Yeah.
nice.
What'd you get up to today?
Today we went for a group run at the Brooks Hyperion House. I actually ran the whole thing with CJ, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some CJ fans in here.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It was fun. We got to chatting, and you were there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted.
some miles.
We did the wrong loop. If you know me at all, you know that I
Did we-
constantly get lost.
Did we do the wrong loop?
Yeah, we did, because it wasn't
Okay.
even 3 miles. And so last night I ran with high school kids, and I, of course, went the wrong way. And then today I went even shorter somehow. And Des added on with me because I have to run 3 miles for it to count because I'm crazy, but you guys get it, right?
You're closing
Yeah.
your rings.
Yeah,
Is that part of closing the rings? Nice.
So that was fun. And then today I've kind of just been hanging out. I walked around for a while.
Yeah.
You went out for a second run.
It was kind of just a continuation of the first one, but I took like an hour breather. I was like, it's so busy out there. It's so people-y.
Was it
If
still,
you will.
was it less people-y when you went back out?
Yeah, it was a lot less people-y.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And I think I got like, I immediately went left, and so I think that was like the far end. Like
Yeah.
it was just away from downtown
Yeah.
a little bit more, so less people-y out there.
Did anybody see Des on her secret less people-y run today? No?
There was
Good job.
a few Instagram posts. There was some people-ys out there.
Some people-ys. And you came in last night.
Yes, smooth travel. Last year when I was leaving here, it's actually annoying because when I got in, it was kind of late, and I was like, I could have driven here quicker for sure, and that's just frustrating. But last year, I actually flew out, got stuck in Detroit, had to stay the night in Detroit, it's like a 3-hour drive home. I'm like, oh, this is so silly. And then I got up in the morning, and they had rebooked me, and they're like, oh, you're on a flight through Chicago to get back to Traverse.
You're like, I'm not going back.
Like, no, I think I ended up getting on something earlier. It was either that or like leave at 4 p.m. I think I waited till 4 p.m. I was like, it's fine, I'll sit. I just had a nice hotel room. But yeah, so this was much smoother,
This was
is my
better.
point. Yeah, this was
okay.
better.
Good to know.
But super short trip for both of us, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm actually headed back tomorrow because my son has a 4-day weekend and I haven't seen him like this month.
What did he get up to today, Kara? Give us a little Colt update.
He had a really big meet today, and I was distracted. We had a meeting, and I was distracted because other moms were like sending me pictures of him. But he ran 15:47. I know. And I mean, I always like lecture that times don't matter in cross country, and they don't. But it is always fun to PR. So I'm super excited to get home and talk to him about it.
And you said it was like on a real course.
It was a
yeah?
real course, yeah. It wasn't not a pancake flat one. Like, I don't know how many of you have high schoolers, but I don't know what happened to cross country. They're all road races, and I'm like, this is not cross country, but this was a legit course.
Don't pick on flat courses. Okay, know your audience.
No. But that's the difference between cross country and marathoning, right?
Touche. Okay,
Yeah.
fair
And
enough.
we're here in Chicago on one of the fastest courses out there. Who's running? Wow.
Who's supporting?
Yeah.
Bloody Marys for all. Woo!
How many of you are running for more than one time here in Chicago? So you really need our pointers.
So
on the
woo,
course.
that's good. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about, because it was funny, I asked you about the course earlier, and you're like, I don't know it that well, but how many times did you race here?
I mean, it was the beginning of my career, but I think 5 or 6.
That's something.
I mean, we're talking about like 2008.
Okay,
You know,
but
it's been a minute.
But you did run it just a couple of years ago, and you set the American Masters record.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
No, it's okay. We talked about this, and like my memory of these things, You saw me. Did I look like I was taking in course vibes
Yeah.
and views?
So I told her, like, you have to tell them, like, the parts of the course, like, that are important. She's like, dude, remember when you sent me that video of you cheering for me and I don't even know you're there?
You were the only
I was
people
like
there.
the only person. It was like Adam, Colt, and I were the only people there. And we're like, come on, Des. And she runs like this close to us. And later I was like, yeah, I saw you when you would turn back like on that harder stretch. And you're like, no, I didn't see you guys.
Lies.
And I
She's
had
like,
to,
video
to
proof.
show the
Yeah.
receipts.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't believe me. But
Yeah, I mean, I think we can go into general marathon tips. Did we do first timers on this course here? Was that a question?
first timers on this course, see,
Okay.
they do want your tips. They do want them.
Yeah, I mean, I think just generic first-time marathon things is always good. There's a couple Chicago-specific, like, silly GPS is going to take a while in the first couple miles. Don't get too frustrated with that. And I will say, even some of the late miles, it gets a little bit wonky. So personally, I'm a manual split person. Always get the manual split. I recommend that.
We're old like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like, just hitting the number at the marker you're going to get the right thing at the end. I hate when people finish and they're like, that's 26.47. I'm like, you don't get to adjust that.
Right,
Like,
right.
that's not your official time.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Well, you've run this before, so for our first timers, can they expect? Is it easy to go out hard here in Chicago? I mean, it always is kind of easy to go out hard because of all the excitement. You're waiting in the crowd and you're like, yeah! But this is a flatter course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the energy is super high, and like, people are here to run fast.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the big thing, particularly on the front end, and you just kind of get like wrapped up in that wave. And then with the GPS being a little bit silly, it takes a while to settle in. But yeah, I think you just have to be patient early. There's plenty of time to like get into your rhythm. There's also like, I think, a number of like turns in the early part where it's hard to settle in. So just stay patient.
So what's your favorite part of the course when you're settled in? Before you're
finish.
ignoring your
The
best
finish.
friend.
I mean, I think
No,
the
out on
halfway
the course.
point. The halfway point's really awesome. Like, you just come back into like this center point, and there's so much energy. The crowds are crazy, but I do think it's a course where you can kind of break it down. Like, there's a number of sort of, it feels like out and backs, so you can kind of like hit reset on the way back. Work with the wind. You know, if you're running into it, it kind of gives on the other side. And also, like, you go away from the city and then back to the center, away from the city and then back to the center. So it's a good way to like break it down. Like, okay, I got a like little boost of energy from the crowd. Now I need to reset, and like, I'm running away from it. Take a deep breath and like focus on the game plan and all the little tasks you need to manage.
What about where are the crowds the loudest?
I mean, honestly, the last like couple miles, like, I mean, probably the last one or two. It's pretty sparse late. The halfway point's great. Yeah, and then wherever you work, because you're just loud.
I'm so loud. You guys all want me to cheer for you.
I did hear you at like one point. You guys had a sign and the whole
you
thing,
looked
and I was
over
like,
and pointed at us, and it was like the biggest celebrity in the world noticed us. We were like, yes! So excited. It is fun when your people that you're supporting actually see you and see how hard you're working on the sideline. It was good.
Love it.
Well, we kind of want to get into the races a little bit, but we have someone in the crowd who's actually an elite athlete running it.
Well, let's bring said person up.
CJ Albertson, do you want to come on up?
Do you want to sit in the middle? Sit there. I think you have to turn this. Oh, no, it's on. There you go, sir.
Well, I don't know if you've been around us before in Chicago, but CJ is like our always, I know, be careful, please. He's our guest of honor, and it's really fun to have you here. CJ, tell us a little bit about, you just ran the World Championship Marathon. Can you just tell us a little bit about how Tokyo was, and then what has it been like to get ready now for another marathon so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo was awesome. The race wasn't so much awesome. But I mean, yeah, it was just like a really cool experience running for Team USA for the first time. Being at my first World Championships just as like a fan of the sport was just awesome. The city of Tokyo and just country of Japan was like, I really like I feel like I'm almost more excited to go back again when I'm not racing. So yeah, the whole experience was awesome. a large chunk of the race wasn't awesome. But then even finishing, even though it wasn't going well, like you finished in the stadium, like on the track, which I've never done for a marathon before. And it was like the morning session was going, so the stadium was like pretty much full, which was just like, it was so cool. Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. Coming off of that, I feel like it's been a little bit of a struggle. I definitely envisioned it going a lot better. I'm like, I'm gonna medal at the World Championships and go crush Chicago. Hasn't been exactly how I've expected, but I'm here, so.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
What did you do afterwards to regroup physically, kind of like training-wise, and then also mentally? Like, how do you come off of a tough day and say, okay, I'm going to pivot and use this and just clean slate, next race? Where are you at mentally?
Yeah, I mean, mentally, I remember a point in the race, like the last 3 or 4 miles, where I'm like, why am I running marathons? Like, am I going to run another one? And like,
The
in the
stars are
moment,
just like us.
I'm like trying to decide, I'm not going to drop out of Chicago while I'm still running this race. But that thought definitely went through my mind for more than once, and a little bit after. But yeah, I think, you know, towards the end of high school, I had like a really bad race where I was like super excited for it. It was to qualify for the Dream Mile. I don't know if you guys remember the Dream Mile, but that was my dream, and I've been looking forward to it. And I was one of the favorites going in, and I got dead last, and it was not great. And then from that moment on, I went 3 years, a little over 3 years without a PR. And I haven't had a really, truly bad race probably since I've started marathons. I've had some ones that like, that wasn't my best, but not like one where it was a struggle. So there was that like thought in my head of like, wow, like I've like been here before, and like I struggled for 3 years after. So it kind of rattled me a little bit, because it's like, wow, like am I gonna bounce back and have a great race in Chicago, or am I gonna be on this long struggle? Like you have these fears from like prior experiences, but I'm also different than I was when I was 18. And so like I kind of, like if I'm honest, like, I kind of had to like battle with that. And then I think my body was also just really tired, like we kind of talked this morning, but and so just trying to rest as much as I could and get my sleep back, because even leading into the World Champs, my total recovery, just in like a sleep, total body sense wasn't great.
Did you look at your like recovery score before the race, and what was it telling you?
Yeah, I don't have like a Whoop, so it's not a recovery score, but the Garmin HRV was the lowest it's ever been. And then it has a training readiness score out of 100. I was 1 almost the whole week, and then I just didn't. So I was just like, well, I'm just not gonna run, or I'm gonna run like 4 miles. And so after 3 days of doing like 4 miles or less, it got up to over 1, but it was still pretty low. But it was like, I was convinced, I mean, it's the World Championship, so I was convinced I was good, and like my watch is, you know, off from the time zone, so it's not right. But then looking back, I was like, man, maybe the Garmin algorithm isn't that bad. I don't know.
No, don't base everything off that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I had like a bunch of successful marathons, and then well into my career, I had a really bad one. And Dina Castor was like, wow, welcome to actually being a marathoner now. Like, we all have bad days. It's impossible not to. But is your PR from here last year?
Yeah.
So what is it about this course and this venue that you like, besides that you set your PR here?
Yeah, my first time here was last summer, and I don't know what was in my mind about Chicago, but I didn't particularly think of it as a super nice place. And then, not like I didn't think it was bad. I don't know. I'd never been here, and then I landed. I was like, this is really nice. And I'm sure the summers are nicer than the winters, but it was like I had no idea there was a big lake, and like beach area. I was like, just totally, I don't know. I never looked at a map apparently. But yeah, and like
just
this,
winning fans right
I know,
now.
but this whole area was, I mean, all the green spaces, like it was just really nice. And like I really loved like the city when I was in here, just for a day. It was for a Brooks event actually. And then, and then when I came back to Chicago, like it just felt good, like in October, and obviously I had a good race. The course was really fast. I feel like I'd watched on TV like world records be set and people run really fast. So I was like, I want to run fast, and I was in good shape, so I knew I could. And yeah, it was just another good weather day, and people ran fast, and I ran fast.
So you have that experience from last year. You got one under your belt. I think course knowledge helps a lot. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but what do you feel like you learned last year that you're going to be able to apply this year? And what are the expectations, if we're allowed to ask, for Sunday?
Yeah, I feel like course-wise, I'm like similar to you. Like I don't know what's happening on the course. I was telling someone, like, the scenery is like the person's back in front of me. Like, Chicago especially is a course where there's especially towards the front, there's a lot of like pace groups. And so you kind of just get with your pace group or people that are running your pace, and you just literally look at the person in front of you. And so I don't really remember anything about the course, except for I was running behind Zach Panning and a couple of Japanese athletes, so I remember looking at them, and they were wearing white, I believe.
What were their jersey colors?
So that's what I remember. I remember the last little, people call it a hill, whatever that overpass is. I felt really good on that, so I'm hoping I feel good on that again. Yeah. What was and then the second part of the question?
What
Expectations.
do you feel like your expectations are? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, my two goals.
What does your watch say for recovery? How's it telling? What's it saying to us?
Actually, it's been pretty good.
Okay, all right. You heard it here first.
One is to beat Galen Rupp. I mean, oh no, I have lost to him. 2020, he beat me by a lot. He won the race. But yeah, I mean, I just grew up watching him, and I feel like he's had like a little bit of comeback of a season, and it's like he's not quite 40, but I'm like, I don't want to lose to him. But obviously he's like a great athlete, and I feel like we're actually gonna be in a similar spot. Just kind of looked at his recent races, so I feel like we'll be racing each other, and if we're racing, like it's just a good target. And then time-wise, I think realistically, just anything under 210, I'd probably be like satisfied with on today. Yeah, I mean, like sub 210 doesn't really like excite me in general, but for on Sunday and given everything, I'd be satisfied with that. If I beat Galen. And there's some other Brooks athletes debuting, and I don't really want to lose to them either. So there's a handful of people I want to beat.
Well, those are all good goals. Yeah. We ran together today, and I guess I didn't realize how much younger you are than me. It like kind of hurt my feelings when I found out that when I was like a team captain, you were there in 2008 as a freshman in high school. It pricked my heart a little bit, but I did find that photo, by the way, of you and Shannon dancing. But anyway, it was super cool to hear your story and see how long you've been into the sport. But we know you as this person who goes to extremes, right? Like you run multiple marathons a year. You used all the chicken lights to get ready for Orlando. But you told me this story, and you have to tell it to everybody, because I'm like, little CJ was already wired this way. Tell them about 8th grade and how you weren't allowed to run in the big championship, and then what you did after.
Yeah, so basically my 8th grade year, I was ineligible because of a transfer is a whole thing. But yeah, so I would just like go train however I could. But they had the championship race for our junior highs, and the day I asked my coach what the winning time was. So then the day after, I like rode my bike to the park because it was only like 2 or 3 miles away. I ran the course, beat the kids' time, and then rode my bike home. So I was like, I'm still the champion.
I love that story. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
So Sunday, will this be the 3rd marathon of the year for you?
4th.
4th? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans?
Boston, Ottawa, yeah.
Ottawa, I forgot about that. Do you have any plans after this, or is it going to be time for a rest? I don't want to look too far ahead, but also you probably have, and you might have something on your schedule already. What's next for CJ?
Yeah, kind of both. I mean, I am going to focus on rest, but I always have CIM on the schedule because it's like a home race for me, and I'm always going to be there anyways, and so I pretty much always end up running it.
Why not run it?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and it's just like I've ran it a lot, and I like the course, and it's the U.S. champs this year, so it's kind of just, I don't know. But I'm going to see how I feel like after this race and kind of getting back into things, but yeah.
Well, let's all wish CJ good luck and also happy birthday tomorrow. So thanks, CJ. Everybody tell him good luck.
Up on the chair.
Okay, we broke up. Okay, so now we know what CJ's goals are. He's one of a few Brooks athletes racing on Sunday. Who else do we have?
It's a great crew, I think. Across the board, Americans will focus on, because that's just what we're particularly interested in, but the Brooks crew especially, Casey Klinger, CJ, and Creed Thompson, and then I believe there's a Hanson's fella whose name escapes me because he's brand new to the team. So maybe Garrett can chime in, or we can post it in our show notes. But yeah, there's a good squad on the men's side.
Yeah. How are we feeling about, I want to dive into the men's side a little bit. How do we feel about all of this announcement about Connor Mance going for the American record? You guys are feeling it? Like, do you guys think he's going to do it?
I mean, he's had a hot year. There's no doubt about that. I think the confidence is at an all-time high. I mean, I think his Boston run was spectacular. And I saw him talk about it, and he was just like, well, why wouldn't I say that's my goal? You know, I think there's pressure that comes with that, but he also ran faster than the time in Boston. So why would he be like, well, I hope to run slower than I ran in Boston? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This is the next logical thing. So I think it shouldn't be too intimidating or like, oh, this is a pressure that I didn't need to put on myself. It was going to happen anyways. And he doesn't seem like a guy who, I mean, he's been in these moments before, like NCAA champion. He's been in the Olympic trials, gone to the games. He knows big moments. So I don't think it's going to be a new experience, like pressure for him. Yeah. And he just seems really fit and confident. So I think it really just depends how he races.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's a big part of it.
It was interesting. He actually said, like, I'm nervous, but that's good, right? Because I like care. But it seems like all of his races have been amazing. He knows what he's doing. His coach knows what he's doing. It's only a matter of time before that record falls. Why can't it be him?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the big question is, what's the pace group like, and does the front and getting competitive with racing and trying to podium and trying to win impact him locking into his own game plan? And I think this is the thing we talk about all the time, like, do you want to race or do you want to run fast? And I don't know if I would fault him if he got caught up and was like, no, you know what, I felt like I was having a day and I just wanted to race. Yeah,
I think that'll be crucial. Maybe not going out in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor, give me a call. But I think he has his own pacer, and I think what I like about him is he wants the record, but he also wants to be competitive. But I agree, this is one of those situations where you kind of have to choose. If you try to win it, then you might blow up and finish out of it. Or if you run a little bit more conservatively and run 204 pace. But only he can make that decision, and he kind of will have to make it during the race.
I see him being on the podium, which I also think is really important to him. I mean, I think that meant so much in Boston. I mean, he was just outside of it. And I think if he runs his race, he's going to have legs late to be charging, and he's going to pick up the carnage of the people who went out in 60 minutes, which is going to be a lot of people who struggle from that, because that's no joke.
That's no joke. Were you surprised? Rory Linkletter of Canada said he also wants the area record, which is actually 2 seconds faster than the American record. Were you surprised by that?
I was surprised by Rory's hair and Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian tux, yeah.
I didn't hear a single thing he said because I was evaluating the vibes and the look. So, sorry.
Yeah, well, I know, it was a lot. But he owned it. He owned it well. I think there was a lot of confidence that grew at Boston this year for a lot of people.
Sure.
Right? Like, it was a fast year. People ran fast. And Boston, as we talk about all the time on the pod, is not like a normal marathon. It's hard. There's like many races in that race. And so I think it gave a lot of people confidence to come here. And I'm excited to see people take big swings. It's a good time of year to do that. Like, World Champs are over. Olympics are a little ways away.
This is the time to swing big. It's like you're going to either knock it out of the park or you got time to recover, reevaluate, and then put together the schedule working back from the 2028 trials and like, okay, what do I need to improve and fix to make this day like actually come to fruition?
Yeah.
So there's time for that. Do you think in terms of Boston, it seemed like everyone ran fast this year. Like, it was a fast year in general. Do you think
you were in it.
Yeah, no, I think it was a fast year. I think it was pretty close to my fitness, but it was a little bit better than years prior where it felt like similar fitness. Do you think there's a sense of false confidence for folks, or do you think it doesn't matter?
Well, I think it does matter.
Yeah.
I think we'll find out a lot on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of confidence built at Boston, but it was a really fast year. And is that because everyone was just like ready at the same time, or was it like a gift from the weather gods? I don't really know, but it was a very fast year at Boston.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like Connor runs 2:05 there. He's like, I don't have to climb and do all this stuff. I just get to run flat and fast. So I think we'll kind of see.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch, and we'll have a number of people who are coming back from Boston who had good days that will be able to kind of measure up.
Yeah, the nerd in me will compare the times and
For
like
sure.
find the differential.
Yeah.
And I'll nerd out on it and tell my husband, who won't care.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. And then we're both super excited about Casey Klinger. He trains with Connor. And he's young and just like wants to run the marathon. Like I had to be kind of like forced into it when I was 30, and he just wants to hit it from the beginning. So it's cool to see someone be super hungry about the marathon like that.
Yeah, I think he comes from a group. Obviously, Ed Eiston's guys are knocking it out of the park in the marathon, but also it goes back a long way. And even Jared Ward, when he was done with his cross-country eligibility, he was like, oh, I'll run Chicago for my debut. I don't think he tried to run fast. He just was doing training and was like, I want to race. Like, I'm going to go, I think it was get his Olympic trials qualifier.
Yeah.
And so they have that kind of tradition and trajectory in their program, and you see a lot of, like, that's what Creed's doing as well. So it's not quite the same as Casey, but I can see the appeal of it and why these guys are hungry for it, and they've seen someone like Jared do really well. They've seen Connor do really well. Clayton's running amazing. It makes a ton of sense. Like, this is the trajectory for me as well. And yeah, I mean, it's cool that he's hungry for it, and he's also proven himself very capable at the longer distances. The 25K in the spring, he set the American record. So his first big step up went pretty well. So those two things for me, and just knowing like his track speed, was right in the bubble for a world championship qualifier. Like he was super close to the time. I think all of those pieces are going to make him a really, really great marathoner. So I've been super excited for his debut for like a couple of years. I think he signed an NIL deal with Brooks, and I was like, oh, this is the person to sign. This is it. He's going to be a monster. So he's not here probably, so no pressure on him, but I think
I'm excited.
You heard it
to him
here
after, though,
first.
because
Yeah.
he said today at our group run that he's most excited about the final 10K on Sunday, and I was like, oof, are you sure? But I like that he's thinking that way. Like, he's looking forward to like having a strong final quarter of the race, but also like it's unknown territory a little bit.
Yeah, I think what's interesting here is that there's so many pacers, and there's pros and cons to it. It's great for someone debuting, great for someone who's like going to have someone out there just thinking for them, making sure they're on their pace, and then it's like, do you have the physical ability? You're not going to make mistakes along the way unless it's fueling or things like that. But I think this is an interesting thing about this race, has become like personal pacer city. Yeah. They're everywhere. There's little groups of them, and it's just like, it actually bothers me.
Well, that's why we have a podcast, because we're old and bitter, and we don't love that.
I mean, they're everywhere. And then, like, we're obviously talking about the men, but on the women's side, you have the luxury of having men pace you, and they
Right.
can run the full thing. So it's like, I mean, I guess if someone wants to sacrifice for Casey, they have to be really good,
Right.
Like, I don't think Jared Ward could do it now. He's
No.
not going to get him to the finish line.
No.
But yeah, so that's, one thing
Anyone
on
that can get him
men's-
to the finish line is racing.
Is racing,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'll be a huge advantage, but yeah, I think that last 10K will be fun for him because it's
Yeah.
going to be him.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else that we want to hit on the men's side?
I'm excited to see what Ryan Ford will do. He ran under 2:08 in Boston.
Okay.
His second marathon, his debut was in New York, and he ran under 210-ish, maybe just under. So third marathon, but he had a little coaching change. He's out with On Athletic Club, which is training with Joe Klecker, and he's just got good momentum. He's figuring out the distance, and he hasn't been on a flat course yet. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
That is exciting. Well, I'm
And-
just excited to see CJ beat Galen. That'll be great.
Yeah, that's a given. Yeah, I think CJ's a guy who's going to get mixed up with the group and just be racing. I think that's the beauty of the tough day in Tokyo is you learn how to hurt, and then you come into a situation where the weather is cool and you're like, oh, it's flat. There are no real challenges beyond the distance, and he's got enough miles on his legs that I think he could get locked in and just surprise himself even.
Yeah. Okay, talking about surprise, let's talk about the women's race.
Okay.
I was watching Dakota's interview today, and she said she's ready to go sub 220. And I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like that. I like this mindset, and we just like with the men, they're coming in. You know, we think Casey has a good shot of the debut record, American men's debut record, really good shot at that, which is 207.50 something. We looked it up.
Yeah, Lenny Carrera.
We did our research. So like, I just like these athletes coming in and just like sort of declaring their fitness. I feel like there's just so much confidence right now. So Dakota said it's her best build ever. She's loving it. All the years of consistency. She like mentioned the last 7 years of consistency. And I was a little bit surprised to hear her say, like, if I feel good in the second half, like, I think I can go sub 220. And then you have to think like, well, is the American record on the table then?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a jump from that. It just depends where she
Yeah.
gets through the half in. I mean, her build-up race was a half. It was great. She ran really well. I think it was a bit of a headwind on the way home, but I think she PR'd by a fair amount. And I think she has the luxury of measuring up with Annie Frisbee, who ran phenomenally in Boston. Again, super fast, had a really big day. So that gives her a lot of confidence. And I love what those two are doing. They're like actual friends. They're not frenemies, but they're training partners, and they're just really pushing each other to a new level. So that's been fun to watch. But I don't think she's going to be a runaway with the top American. I think she'll have some company.
Well, tell us who you think is going to be there.
I'm excited to see Natasha Rogers.
Yeah.
I think she is just one of the toughest people out there. I just picture her running with like 2 middle fingers in the air and just being like, F you all, you counted me out, watch this, like no one talked about me. And then people will be like, wow, she surprised me. And Natasha will be like, I don't know why. You know, like she's just always, she's a gamer. So I'm
and
excited about her.
She ran so fast earlier this year. She ran 222, kind of like without a lot of hype before it. And I think that really solidified to her that she is a really good marathoner. So she seems to be healthy, excited to be here. So I think she'll run really well too. I think Gabby Rooker is going to run well too. I think she put a lot of pressure on herself the last 2 marathons she ran. And this time she's probably trained harder, but has been a little less like intense about it.
Where do you think that pressure comes from? Is it completely internal, or just like she had that really great debut, I think it was in Chicago, and then all of a sudden it's like the outside world notices, and do you think she notices that, or is it just complete like, oh my God, my training is so good?
I feel like I work for NBC, and I feel like we heard her at the Olympic trials because she was like my dark horse pick. So she's never done any of that stuff, and we came and she got interviewed, and I think that was a little, like, it's overwhelming. Like, she started at Grandma's Marathon, she's worked her way into being a 224 athlete. I think she's a 224 athlete. And then it was sort of like, she went from like the rising person that was exciting to, oh, now you're an elite. You have a sponsorship. You have, you know, things that are expected. And I think like many of us, she puts a lot of pressure on herself.
Sure.
But she seems to be a little bit more relaxed coming in here. And I know she has the tools to run low 220. I just really hope it happens for her.
What group does she go with?
That's tough.
Personal pacer.
Personal
right?
pacer, yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that the American women will like kind of line up with each other at any point? Like, is Dakota going to be so far ahead that, you know, Natasha's not going to be with her? Where's Gabby? Do you think they'll all be separate, or do you think it's going to kind of sync up to a degree?
That's a great question. I kind of feel like it might unintentionally sync up with Natasha and Dakota anyway. Mm-hmm. I think Dakota's going to race pretty aggressively. She feels really good about her speed. She's run all sorts of like short course PRs this year, like in her races.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to be pretty aggressive. Natasha seems like she's very confident where she's at. I think Gabby will probably play it a little bit more safe.
And there's an X factor with a debut.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Well, Emily Venters is debuting
Debuting.
here, and she's been phenomenal on the track, looking really good, and trains with the Ed Eyestone group, who seems to know what they're doing. They seem okay.
I mean, every video I see of her, she's just coasting along, running with Kira D'Amato, chatting, no problems. So it seems like her training's gone amazing. You never know with a debut, but I think she's set up to have a great one.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Do you want to talk about, there's two scratches. Lindsay Flanagan, which is always a bummer.
Yeah.
I feel like she's someone who surprises and gets like, she doesn't get the love she deserves. But I did see she got announced for Valencia. So hopefully minor injury and she's just pivoting. And then Matt Richtman, who we saw in LA run super well, and that was going to be an exciting matchup with him and Ryan Ford and Casey, like just a big group of American men. If Connor falters, you know, you just never know.
You never know. I was excited to see Matt race, but actually don't have any insider information on what happened. Someone DM'd me and was like, "What happened to Matt?" I'm like, I don't have everybody on speed dial.
Yeah,
just like
you weren't texting him.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that's a bummer. But that's part of the game, right? Is like you train, you have to push the envelope, especially if you want to make big strides and like be on the podium. And sometimes you just push it a little too far, and it happens.
But if you make it to the line healthy, everyone's got a shot. And I think if you guys are all here feeling good, got a shot to have your best day, which is exciting. Do you have any tips, tricks for the night before this get you ready for tomorrow?
Yeah. This has been so long. Just rest, eat food that you're used to, right? Just all the normal things. Hydrate really well. And if you can't sleep, just even resting there. Honestly, like 2 nights before is most important. So tonight, go to sleep. And go ahead and sleep in tomorrow. But I think it's just like reminding yourself of the work you've done to be here, because it can get really overwhelming and nerve-wracking. You're about to ask yourself to do something really hard, but you've done the work to be here. So it always helped me to kind of reflect on my training and be like, okay, I deserve to be here. I'm ready to be here.
Did you look back at your training log?
No, I
never a thing. Did you keep a training log?
I had a confidence journal because I like feeling. I'm a feeling person.
That's beautiful.
So I would bring my confidence journal with me to the race. So I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I had a training log, and then I also had a confidence journal. I wrote them both every night. In my confidence journal, I would say something every day positive that was leading to my goal, which was like to make the Olympic team or podium at New York. Yeah. And even there were days where like workouts went bad, and I wrote that down in my training log, but then in my confidence journal, I would try to have to find something positive, like kept going even though it wasn't great or whatever. And then I could flip through that the night before. And it's one thing when like your husband or your mom or your coach is like, you're ready to go. But it's another thing when it's your handwriting telling you you're ready to go. So you guys can start that for next time.
I was gonna say, if you went back and you were like, I'm gonna start a confidence journal tonight, like what would entry number 1 be for Kara Goucher? Where would you start from?
I don't know. You still like running and you're 47. That's an accomplishment right there.
That's great. That's perfect.
What about you? What is your one tip for the night before? Or what is your routine?
I was going to say something else. Can I pivot?
Yeah, you can pivot.
Okay. My one tip, I was thinking about this with the course stuff. You have to, and I know we always talk about save something for the last 10K, save something for the last 10K. I think in this course specifically, there's this moment where you know you're heading towards the finish line, you're heading in the right direction. This is kind of like where I saw you on the course. And then you make this right-hand turn, yeah, you were at, allegedly. And you make a right-hand turn and you start running away from the finish line. And it's just this very mentally challenging moment. So I think you have to be really strong and confident and like have a mantra, whatever it is to get you through those tough moments. And really, that's hard, but then you flip back, you're headed in the right direction. And that's typically when there's like the most wind. Like there's usually a headwind on that section. So when people say don't go out too hard, save something for the last 10K, here specifically, like it's a very difficult final 10K mentally for those 2 reasons. So just be prepared for that. Make a game plan, set some things up to help you stay positive. Use your confidence journal to tackle that final 10K. That's my tip.
That's perfect. That's elite advice right there. Well, do we want to see what you guys want to talk about?
We could open it up for some questions.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
Should we pass the mic around? Because I feel like Chris is going to yell at us about this 100%.
I'm going to have you guys pass it back.
Or you could walk up to the front.
They don't want to do that.
Then you have to be really committed to the question.
Yeah.
As a very avid listener of your pod, it's been really fun to watch your two's friendship develop. So what is the most surprising thing that each of you have learned about the other one?
I feel like if I say it, you're going to be mad at me. I think for me, getting to know Des, like we always got along, we were always friendly with each other, but it seems like she's like a rock, like nothing would affect her ever, right? She's just like, well, you can tell me whatever. But one of the things I've loved learning about you is that you're gonna kill me, but you do have feelings.
I care deeply about certain things,
care
and they
deeply,
impact me
yes.
greatly.
Yes. And I love that about you.
I try to be unbothered.
You're not a robot.
Thank you.
It turns out she has a heart, and it pumps very loudly, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I mean, the exact opposite is true of you. You have many feelings, but I feel like I already knew that.
Yeah, I pretty much cried all the time in every interview I ever did back in the day.
I kind of feel like you're really an open book. I mean, I think that like there's so much about you that's out there, and that's like very rare for people to do, to just like give themselves to everyone and like share that. And I think you do that. That doesn't surprise me. It just leaves like there's not a lot to like uncover. Like I want to be like, oh, she cares so deeply for her family, and like, well, of course, like,
Right.
Okay. I think one of the things that does surprise me is your family's upbringing with the amount of pets and the variety. The variety of pets was surprising.
Yeah,
how about that?
I had a really weird childhood. It was
It's
great.
not weird. It was just
great, though.
surprising that the animals selection specifically.
Raccoons, deer, beaver, yeah,
I
we
think
had
it was
all.
the raccoon that sent me.
That's fair.
Yeah, good question.
If you want, you can like yell it.
No,
Yeah.
Chris is gonna get mad.
Okay.
No. No, it's not Chris who's gonna get mad. Someone's gonna know in the comments, and they're gonna
yeah.
be like, "We couldn't hear the question," like in that voice too.
Us mere mortals have a lot of bad races, so I want to know if there's a time in your career where you've had what's seeming like a devastating disappointment that actually turned out to be something positive.
Well, I don't know if it turned out positive, but
Or it helps you grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I moved to Colorado because I wasn't happy anymore, and I didn't know if I wanted to run anymore. And I ran for my college coach, Mark Wetmore, and my old college teammate, Heather Burrows, and we prepped for this New York race in 2014 that Des was in. And we knew I wasn't in Lifetime Fitness, but we thought I was in pretty good shape. And the race went so horribly. And I really remember, like, just feeling so sad and like wondering, like, should I even keep running? And I think I even went to Mark and Heather and said, you don't have to be nice to me, like, is it over? And so it was really hard, but the good thing that came from it was that they were like, no, we believe in you, you can do this. And they really helped me turn it around. And, you know, like, I don't know, maybe 5-6 months later or something, I don't remember when the trials were, a year after that. Trials were in 2016. Yeah, I really stuck with it because it was like a year and a half later. And I did make the Olympic team, but I wound up fourth. And that was actually my favorite training block of my entire career. And I would have missed out on that. So that was something good that came from it.
Good job. Way to round that up. I think for me, it was the 2008 Marathon Olympic trials. I was like convinced that I was going to make that team. It was my second marathon, which was obviously a huge ask, but the training went well, everything went really well, and I've run however many marathons I've run at this point, and that's, I think, the only one where I like truly bonked. And at mile 22, I think, I was like 14 or 20 seconds out of third place, and I was like, oh, I've got this, like, this spot is mine, this is crazy. And then, half mile later, was losing like 40 seconds a minute a mile, and you're just like, oh, wow, this is a different animal. This is, when they say there's a wall and all of the things, it's true. Like the last, 10K is the second half of the race. And I remember thinking all of those things sort of as I was trotting in and like brain fog galore. And it was frustrating. Obviously, I missed the team. I finished 13th. And I think after that, it's like after any trials, it's a moment where you decide, like, do I want to do this for another 4 years? The next chance that I really get at this is in 4 years, and it was really devastating. But I decided that I was going to figure out the marathon, I was going to figure out the event, and I was going to figure out specifically that last 10K. And I just made it my goal to be like the best at that last 10K of the race, and then I was able to make a team 4 years later. So it worked out okay.
What are y'all's initial thoughts for Life of a Showgirl?
I don't want to get hated on, but I love it. It's in my mind. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, Ophelia. Like, it's crazy. I love it. Sorry if you hate it.
Oh, karaoke Kara's out. She's out. It's on. I love that sweatshirt down there. That's great. I think it's a great album. Bangers, bops, and some fun ones in there. I think I'm not expecting anything Taylor Swift does to change my life. I just want to, like, jam out a little bit, and
Yeah.
it solves that.
But we've been texting about it. We like it.
I do think we'll have an episode.
On
Like
the album?
yeah.
On the controversy?
No.
Okay.
Just the album.
I don't want to do that.
No,
Yeah,
just the album,
no.
yeah.
It's a good one.
Let's just keep it pop music. Let's not make it more than that. Yeah, okay. We'll do top 5. Oh, okay. To wrap it up. Don't forget that. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Yeah, I saw you waving around back there earlier, so it's going right there. This is going to be like
No pressure
How are
for
we
like
solving-
last question.
peace in the Middle East.
Okay, hi to both of you. I guess this is more of a question for Kara, but this is my first race postpartum. My son just turned 1. That was very aggressive to choose a marathon, but what is like your biggest advice? Because I feel like running before I had a baby versus now is just so different, but like so rewarding, but also so challenging.
Yeah, I hated that everyone that I talked to when I was pregnant was like, oh, you'll come back so easily. It's not easy. It's really hard. And I actually, like, to be totally honest, I feel like I did a disservice by coming back so quick. And it like sold this narrative that it's super easy. And at the same, I was like, had a stress fracture and I was sitting on a donut, you know? But I think one cool thing about it is, what I loved about it was that I was so happy I cared about this person so much, but I still loved running just as much. And I didn't know those two worlds could exist, where I could love them both and not have to feel like, well, now I'm a mom, I can't do that, or now I'm a runner, I can't be a mom. But you're a year out, which is honestly when you first start to feel like yourself again. It was a year and a half before I felt like, oh yeah, I know this body. And I just feel like people should hear that. So you're just at the beginning of starting to feel like yourself, and the strength is there because you carried a person in your body. So you're gonna be great.
I have nothing to add.
Des, can you tell us about your dogs? No. I just want to first comment to say thank you to both of you. So I am someone, Kara, like you, that has a neuromuscular disease, neurosensory disease, and because of that, it's become really, really hard to run with my besties here the way I used to. So I run with you guys. You guys are in my ear, and you are my voices and my people and my friends. And so I just want to say thank you. If there's anyone else that has that same experience, that they've become like your running group when they're not there, it really means a lot. As women in your 40s, can you speak to the process and being able to shift from PRs to other goals and other things and giving them that same weight? Because I know there are so many of us that are in that place where just going faster isn't the thing anymore. Could you speak to that and how you remain motivated and keep driving? Thank you both.
I'll let Des go second because she's still fast. So she can end with that. For me, it was hard to lose touch with like the ability to do certain things as I got older. And finally, I just had this reckoning of like, I'm a master. I'm not supposed to be super fast anymore, although she still is. But for me, it's little goals now that are just so different. Like, I am not lying. 2 years ago, I tried to beat my son's PR in the 5K at Boston, and I did, and it felt like an Olympic freaking gold medal. It was so validating. And so I think it's like just being okay with your at, like a lot of acceptance, which is hard for us to do, but accepting like I am not who I was when I was 25 or 30 or even 35. I'm 47 and it's just different, but still setting goals that are meaningful to me and still setting goals that are meaningful to you. And now Des, who could still PR at distance races, she can come on in.
No, I'm not anywhere close to PRs actually, and I think it is a challenge, and it's a thing that's hard to wrestle with, and I think that that's actually where I am at, and I'm in like career purgatory because I'm like pretty okay. Like I could run, I ran 2:26 in Boston. A lot of people are like that's really great.
I mean, that's pretty good, right?
But it's definitely very different, and so it is kind of reframing it, and I think in Boston, deciding that was my last professional marathon was super important because it allowed me to tackle new goals and find new things that I want to try and not feel like, oh, if I try and do a 50-miler, I know that's going to impact my marathon training and then I might not be as good as I could have been. And like, so I think letting go of that was really important for me. And maybe other folks need to find ways to do that and then allow yourself new challenges. But I think running is the best because one, you can do it for so long, but you can also do it in so many different ways. And maybe it's marathons, maybe it's stepping down to the 5K, maybe it's doing ultras, maybe it's chasing segments, and like there's just so many ways to participate and enjoy competition, but there's also health and wellness of like, you can just go out for a run and enjoy, I don't know if you have seen this on the map, but there's a lake out here. Maybe that's what you want to do, and maybe that's how you're enjoying it. Maybe you want to solve your emails, but you need to go out and just like flesh out the legs, and that's how you do it. And so it's just finding new ways to participate and enjoy the run and constantly tweaking those to maybe goals or just having fun with it. Yeah. All right, let's do one more.
One more question? Does anyone else
If we
have
have
a question?
one. Do we have one more question?
We do.
This guy down. Okay. The thing with these next two questions, if the microphone gets placed in your hand, you hold on, maybe you'll pass it back. You have to give us a top 5, 1 of 5.
Okay.
She's ready. She says she's ready.
I think my question kind of comes with the top 5.
Okay.
My little brother just started coaching high school cross country, so that'll be my top 5. And the question that goes with it is, do you all have advice for him as a new high school coach?
Do you?
You're the one guy.
I would say you can literally change someone's life in high school. My high school coach was so freaking awesome. I still talk to him. I love him. He did not know what he was doing. It sounds like your brother does. You're a Boston Marathon qualifier. But he made all of us feel important, and I think that's the key, is like, yeah, maybe I was winning state, but we had 40 girls on our team, and the girl who was 40th on our team, she felt just as important as I did, and that is the key, and that is actually the beauty of cross country.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's a super important job, which sounds kind of funny. You're like, oh, it's just kids running around. But like how we introduce kids to running is so important. And so many of us, it was like, oh, you messed up in soccer, run some laps. Oh, you messed up in football, run some laps. And you have this opportunity to make it fun and exciting and set someone up to do this for a really long time in their life. So just make sure it's enjoyable, fun, and sustainable.
Okay, that was our first top 5 moment. Her brother is coaching high school cross country. Check.
So as we, like Meb, he adds extra rest day between, or 2 rest days back when he started getting older. Like how do you adapt your training as you, like years ago you said you wait like an extra hour, walk around, have coffee for your long run. Like what else do you do?
Give me a top 5 and I'll answer.
Oh.
Our daughter's name is Kara, and she was very excited to say
Woo! That's a good one.
That is a great question. I mean, I think it's just not being rigid with your plan. I think that that's the biggest thing. A lot of my plan looks really similar, but it's also not just saying, oh, I have this on the schedule, so I have to do it. It's listening to your body, being like, oh, I might need an extra day, or maybe it is waking up a little bit earlier and moving around a little bit more, or bringing mileage down because you actually have all these lifetime miles, or shortening workouts. There's all kinds of different things, and I think it's like the schedule just becomes a lot more flexible. And you just have to kind of use the wisdom from all the years that you have and listen to your body, and then also trust the things you've done in the past.
Yeah, and you were talking about Meb. Meb used to always tell me, I remember we were on a photo shoot together, and it was 6 weeks out from New York or something, and I was like, are you getting nervous? Like, how's your fitness? And he's like, we have 6 weeks, you know? And I was like, we only have 6 weeks, so I think there is like this whole body of work that you've done. And then as I got older, I was 37 in my last Olympic trials, and instead of trying to do, you know, instead of trying to smush 4 workouts into 8 days, I just did 3 workouts a week. And one was like a fun track session, one was something pace related, one was a long run. But I still ran a ton of miles, but like I just focused on being it hard when it needed to be. And I didn't worry about getting that extra 4th day in, where am I gonna find that? Because I didn't need it. I had years and years of that in my body. So it's okay to like change it up.
I also think, and this goes back to the postpartum question, is like, don't get in the comparison trap. Yeah. You know, like, well, I used to be, or like, it's okay to let that go and just be where you are and do what you need to do in this, you know, season or stage of life.
That was so good.
Thank you. Just trying to relate.
Okay. Well, we have 3 more top 5s. I think the last one is going to be easy.
Hey, you want to do the last one?
No, we'll do it together.
I don't know what it is.
I'll link you through it. Okay. I'm going to say for mine, it was honestly running with CJ today. Aww. You hurt my feelings a little bit when I realized how young you were. But I had so much fun, and I had so much fun hearing your story, and I'm actually going to tell my son about your story more. He already knows who you are, but now I know more details. It was really cool, and I had so much fun. So group run again next marathon? Ooh. Okay.
So you're going to CIM.
Okay, maybe your next marathon, but.
Love that. I'm going to go with the Pioneers. The Pioneers Run Club. The collab they do with Brooks is like fire. The shoes are so sweet. The gear is sweet. Go by the Hype House on Michigan Ave, by the Apple Store is what I'm told.
401, I think. 401 Michigan Street.
By the Apple Store, yeah, just in case. And check those out because they're awesome. I need to go get a pair for myself before they sell out. And it's the Hyperion Max 3, which nothing new on race day, but I've been thinking about this shoe for a really long time, and I keep telling people, I'm like, I love it, but I don't know what it's for me. I can't figure it out. Like, it's a fast shoe, but it's like a trainer, and it's like, and then I was packing for this trip, and I was like, I want to do a workout, but I need to do a lot of running, and I don't want to pack a couple pairs of shoes. And I was like, this is it. Hyperion Max 3 is that shoe that kind of just
It only took you how many years?
It's a new shoe! But it's great, so check that out.
It's not that new. But that was good. Okay, the last one I think you know. It's all of you for supporting us.
It's all of them.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it internally.
And Brooks for supporting us, and you guys for coming out. I mean, like, you guys are wild to come here and listen to us just chit-chat. It's pretty crazy, and we're super appreciative of all of you because we love doing this and connecting with all of you.
Yeah, and best of luck to everyone racing on Sunday and to their cheer squads who are doing just as much work. Treat yourself well. Good luck.
Thank you.